Hello everybody and welcome to Foreve Rugby on Foreve Sports. For today's preview, Munster versus Sharks. One of the big clashes this weekend, probably the second biggest clash after that Leinster versus Bulls clash, which will actually precede this game. This game will close off this Saturday. Some very, very big names named in both sides, and a big South African return for SYNMAN, who will come off the bench for Munster against a South African team, ironically, for his first sort of involvement in Munster colours. Before we look at the team itself and some of the big battles to look forward to and what we think might happen in the game, please do smash like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. We will, of course, be live for this game. Second day of United Rugby Championship. The first day has offered us a lot of some good performances, lots of tries, and really very watchable rugby. So hopefully the second day of United Rugby Championship will give us a very similar sort of feel. But in terms of the teams for today, obviously, for the Sharks, none of their Springboks, so they're currently missing about 10 players who could potentially come back from the Springboks. No Jaden Hendrickson is injured, so missing quite a few players. But as well, Munster also, other players missing a lot of players in and around the setup. But in terms of Munster, we'll start with the home side. Some very, very big names involved in tomorrow. And we'll start off, when we look at the front row, and you've got somebody, you've got the caliber of David Kilcoyne. And you look at his pedigree, 32 years old, 45 matches for Ireland. He's got almost 200 appearances for Munster. He doesn't get much better than him. And to have him alongside the likes of Niall Scannell, who's 29 years old, he's got 121 caps for Munster, he's got 20 caps for Ireland. And then finally completing the front row is John Ryan, who just brings even more experience than the other two. The equal amount of experience at the very least. 24 caps for Ireland, 176 caps for Munster. He's just, they're old guard really in the front row, and they'll bring a lot of experience to the side up against quite a youthful Sharks front row that do have Springbok quality in it though. In terms of the two locks in the second row, we've got Jean Klein, who is a South African born player. He's got 5 caps for Ireland. He was schooled at Linden, went to University of Stellenbosch, 28 years old, stands at 2.08 meters and 121 kg, so he does bring quite a lot of bulk. A bit more than Fanine Wishley, who is got a single cap for Ireland, getting a cap this year, the 23-year-old, who's playing for a spot in the team with a very big name on the bench. In the loose trio, we start with Peter Mahoney, who is the captain. The 31-year-old has amassed 76 caps for Ireland. He's got a British and Irish Lions cap to his name. He's got 147 caps for Munster. It doesn't get much better. And from a leadership point of view, very important individual, very much lead from the front. We'll leave it all on the line. And expect a massive performance from him tomorrow to sort of inspire his team to go on. Next to him, you're going to have Jack O'Donoghue, who's also Ireland capped. His caps came a while ago, but he's also got 140 caps for Munster. The experience, I think, in the Munster side is what makes them so impressive. They've just, everywhere you look at, they've just got so much quality, absolutely everywhere. And then closing out the loose trio is 23-year-old Gavin Coombs, who's got 2 caps for Ireland. He was capped this year. In fact, also got quite a few caps for Munster. 23 years old, very sort of bright and up-and-coming player. But been around the block enough time to sort of be quite settled in his position. Moving into the back line, this is where it starts getting very exciting. That pack has got so much that will try and sort of dominate the Sharks up front and then allow this back line to sort of run right. 22-year-old Craig Casey will start at scrum off. Also somebody he got capped earlier this year for Ireland. Also quite status is going into his third season, I think, with Munster. And he'll be next to, in terms of a smooth operator, it doesn't get much better than Joey Carberry. He's obviously New Zealand born, but got 24 caps for Ireland, played a lot of rugby for Leinster, played a lot of rugby for Munster. Can also play full back, but he's an absolute class operator at number 10. And I think that he will probably have the upper hand over Boeta Chamberlain, who's starting in the 10 jersey for the Sharks. The two wings, their record high scorer for Munster, Simon Zebo, is back in Munster colours and starting. He scored 300 points for Munster between 2010 2018, then spent 2 seasons at Racing 92, scoring 125 points as well. He scores tries for fun, does the 35 times capped Ireland when he's also been a tourist with the British and Irish Lions back in 2013. So he is the danger man out wide. On the other side, you've got Andrew Conway, 30 years old, 25 caps for Ireland, brings a lot of experience as well. Over 100 games for Leinster, over 200 points for them. So also a very good operator. And in the midfield, the likes of 27-year-old Rory Scannell, who's got a couple of Ireland caps to his name as well, plenty of Munster caps, and he's next to former Sevens player Dan Goggin, who is 26 years old, hasn't played for Ireland yet, but he's got 67 caps for Munster, so he's very experienced at this level. As someone who was sort of dabbling in a bit of Sevens, he's got a nice skill set on him as well. And then we've got Mike Haley at full back, who was capped once for Ireland. He was born in England and played for sort of the England youth setups. Has been playing in Munster since 2018. Was originally at Sale Sharks. He's got quite a few caps to his name, quite a few tries as well. Very good point scorer. And as I said, you look at that sort of starting 15, and all of these players are players who have got 50, 60, 70 professional appearances, which is not necessarily the case when you move to the Shark side. Off the bench, you're going to have a Diamond Barron come at hooker, Jeremy Laughlin at loosehead, and then Kenny Knox, South African-born prop at tight head. Then the big name that everybody's been waiting for, SYNMAN, will make his first sort of appearance. I think he's actually played one game for Munster so far. I stand to be corrected on that. But, played plenty of games for South Africa, World Cup winner, somebody that the South Africans would love to have playing today in the Rugby Championship. And the rest of the bench will be Thomas Ahern, former Ireland under 20, Rowan Osborne, who's 24 years old, former Ireland under 19, Ben Healy, who's got 20 caps for Munster already, and then obviously the South African Chris Cloete, who was one of the big performers for Munster last season, phenomenal at the breakdown, former Western Province boy, former Shark, originally came through the Shark system, was educated in the Eastern Cape, and that was sort of his time at the Southern Kings where he sort of rose to fame. Very, very good operator off the bench is Chris Cloete, and a bit of a South African flair to the Munster side. In terms of the Sharks, this is how they will line up. And we talk about the fact of players who haven't got that much professional experience. It's a very inexperienced two front rows in the likes of Kwesi Mona and Kieran van Vuuren, but Thomas du Toit, World Cup winner, Springbok squad member, will anchor that scrum, and you have to have a very, very big game up against Dave Kilcoyne tomorrow. The second row, I've been very impressed with Leroux Roots, who's sort of undergo quite a big fitness regime and is looking much better in the second row. Corbin Krobler's returned from France, looking very good as well. It's a very exciting loose trio. Dylan Richardson, Pepsi Buthelezi, both in their sort of breakout season. Pepsi Buthelezi will captain the side. He continues to go from strength to strength. And Henk Venter will bring a little bit more experience to that loose trio, but some very exciting players. Dylan Richardson, sort of becoming more of a flank now, which I think is where he will sort of end up. Pepsi Buthelezi has been a very solid performer for the Sharks. He leaves it all out there. Watch him carry sort of 15 to 16 times tomorrow, make probably 10 plus tackles. He really does put in a lot of hard work. But the biggest asset, I think, for me for the Sharks tomorrow is number 9, Ruan Pienaar. Brings any situation in rugby that could be possible has been experienced by Ruan Pienaar. And next to Boeta Chamberlain, which I think is a huge call to start at that fly half, I think his experience will be immeasurable. And it also wouldn't surprise me, especially if you look at the bench, going with a 6-2 split, you've got somebody who can shift into fly half, and it wouldn't surprise me if we see him there towards the end of the game. The two wings, Thakay Abrahams and Yal Penke. Yal Penke brings a lot of hard work. Thakay Abrahams, not the biggest person, but brings a lot of X factor, a lot of speed, and very good footwork. Marius Lowe, Werner Kok. Marius Lowe, I think, needs a big game. I think it's the one area which the Sharks are lacking a little bit is in terms of that inside centre. Werner Kok will be very important on defence. Curran Bosch continues to sort of spend life in the number 15 jersey. It looked like he was going to be the sort of backed out and out full back for the Sharks, but has been playing there since they loaned Lionel Cornet, and he will stay there with Butch Chamberlain operating at fly half. Off the bench, Faison Barter is back in the mix and will make his return. He's next to Ntutuko Mkuno and Kuta Mkuno. I worry a little bit about Ntutuko. I think his scrummaging is a little bit substandard. I think Kuta is very solid on his day. And then plenty of forwards. Ruben van Heerden, Hiron Andrews, 2 lock forwards, and you've got the likes of Mpilo Gomede coming along who can cover the back row. So a lot of bulk coming off the bench to try and counteract the likes of Cloete, SYNMAN, and then you've got Tanene Nahamba and Jeremy Ward. Tanene Nahamba injected a lot of pace into the game. Jeremy Ward, a very solid tackler, a very physical character. Should be a very interesting game. Obviously, you've got to back Munster with the amount of international experience and the sort of the class that they've got. But the Sharks side when they pitch up, they play some very nice rugby. So their backs will be up against it. It's a huge ask to try and get the job done, but never ever right off a South African side. So we never know. I think for the Sharks, the important thing tomorrow will be to give a good account of themselves. Try and score a couple of tries. Try and sort of work on the defense. Try and just sort of have a solid start to the tournament. For Munster, they'll be targeting a big statement. If they can go out and beat the Sharks quite comprehensively tomorrow, then suddenly everybody has to sit up and think, right, maybe this is Munster's year. Maybe we do need to worry about them. Let me know what your score predictions are down in the comments below. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel as well. My name is Steven. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll chat to you soon.